Hello, and welcome to our next NAP. My name is Irina Oshkova, and I'm your nonprofit auditors. NAP stands for Nonprofit Auditor Points. I design NAPs to help nonprofit communities and nonprofit organizations to answer some questions that we are often asked that relates to audit, accounting, and finance. I want to remind you that these videos are not authoritative. Therefore, if your nonprofit have any specific questions, please either contact me or your auditor or your finance team and support. Thank you so much. Let's start. Today, I want to talk about various assurances methods. Under standards, an auditor can provide various services to a nonprofit organization, and specifically different assurance services. And I'm, as an auditor, very often asked what is the difference between those. And today I want to touch base to give you highlight the difference between audits, reviews, compilation, and I also want to talk about various type of audits. Let's start. What is audit? Audit is service when the CPA or auditor have to be independent, completely and fully, in fact and in appearance. What it means that the auditors cannot make any management decisions and hopefully does not participate in any operations. Ideally, the auditor should be fully external and do not provide any other services to nonprofit, with few exceptions. And those typical exceptions: tax filing and helping nonprofit prepare financial statements. And the goal of the audit, for the auditor to express an independent opinion that financial statements are not materially misstated. And this is the highest level of assurance. During the audit, auditors do not express absolute opinion assurance, meaning that we cannot absolutely guarantee that financial statements are free of material misstatements. However, auditors provide reasonable assurance that financial statements are free of material misstatements based on the work that was performed per standards. Auditors provide risk-based audit. What it means that we as auditors, we assess various risk levels for different procedures and processes within organizations. We design our tests based on these risks, and then at the end of the audit, we express an opinion. Audit is very laboring procedures for the audit firm and for the organization. And during the audit, auditors do ask a lot of support from the organization, including individual invoices, contracts, policy procedures, etc. That one type of assurance audit. This is the highest level of assurance. There are several types of audits. Typical audit is financial audit. And another type of audit, it can be audit based on government auditing standards, GAS. Very often, nonprofits that do receive governmental fundings require perform audit based on the government auditing standards. Another name for that is Yellow Book. Therefore, if your nonprofit receives funds from government, please make sure that you inquire your city, state, if you do need to perform audit based on government auditing standards. If the audit will be performed based on the government auditing standards, the auditor needs to use two types of standards. FASB, which is for regular financial audit, plus government auditing standards. These type of audits are very similar. We just need to use additional set of standards. And government auditing standards require auditor to be even more independent and put more scrutiny on the auditors just to make sure that they are adhere to independence requirements. And another type of audit, it's a single audit. Single audit is required for nonprofits that spend more than $750,000 in federal funds. Very important to remember, they have to be federal source funds. Nonprofits can receive federal money not directly from federal agencies. They can come from state, from the city, or from another nonprofit. It doesn't matter. If the funds are federally sourced and the organization spent more than $750,000 a year, nonprofits has to do special type of audit, single audit. This audit encompasses additional set of standards based on uniform guidance, plus governmental auditing standards, plus FASB, regular audit. If you would like to learn about single audits, I probably will do a separate nap about it because it's a big topic on its own. Therefore, we discussed regular audit, yellow book or government auditing standards audit, and single audit. The next level of assurance is review. We can call it medium level of assurance. As we mentioned before, in audit, auditors do provide opinion that financial statements are not materially misstated. We provide an assurance. In review, the CPA firm is not auditors, they call independent accountants, and we provide an opinion that we're not aware of any material modifications that should be made to accompanying financial statements. Therefore, it's less level of assurance. In independent accountants, what we do, we only provide analytical procedures and we inquire management about numbers and see if their responses are plausibly explain financial numbers on the statements. Therefore, it's a more higher level of analysis and it's less invasive. Independent accountants do not look in details that much during the review. However, for not educated consumers, when they look in the audit report and the review report on the service, financial statements, footnotes, they look exactly the same. However, where you have to look in the first in opinion itself, because in the audit it will say independent auditor's report, and it will say that we provide reasonable assurance that financial statements are not materially misstated. On review, it will be independent accountants report, not auditors, and it will say that we as accountants not aware of any modifications that needs to be made to the financial statements. And the last level of assurance, it's compilation. In compilation, accountants, CPA firm, we're not an auditors, which is accountants, and accountants can be independent or not independent. The organization can hire the internal accountant to perform compilation. It does not need to be external CPA firm. And in compilations, that all we do, we just compile numbers that client provided in a proper format based on the general accepted accounting principles or any other basis if needed. A lot of CPA firms do not do compilations, some do, but again, during the compilation, auditors or CPA firms, do not provide any assurance of these financial statements. All we do, we just put it together, compile. to present them in a proper format. Again, on the surface, to a non-educated consumer, all three reports that can include financials, footnotes, can look exactly the same. Now, in compilations, the not full financial statements can be presented, and footnotes might not even be presented, but if everything, all financials and footnotes presented, they might look the same. Therefore, before your nonprofit contact the auditor or external CPA firm, please make sure what type of service nonprofit needs. Is it an audit? Is it review? Or is it a compilation? And also, if nonprofit receive any government funds, make sure that you read their agreements and find out if the audit that needs to be done also needs to be done based on the Yellow Book standards, government auditing standards, or if, because there is no threshold requirements for government auditing standards, the nonprofit can receive $10,000 and required to perform audit based on government auditing standards. Or if nonprofit receive funds from federal sources and spend more than $750,000 a year, it has to do special type of audit, single audit. Why is that important for nonprofit to know what type of service to provide? Because not every CPA firm is qualified to perform various type of audits or does not have manpower or resources to perform one audit or another audit. And as an auditor, I can guarantee that when your nonprofit contact outside CPA firm and state exactly what your nonprofit needs, it will increase the probability that you're gonna hire good auditor or accounting firm that provides exactly what you need, and it's gonna be no miscommunications, no misunderstanding down the road when, for example, CPA firm will start performing one type of audit, but in the middle of the audit it will be identified that different type of audit also needs to be performed. And the worst case scenario, if that CPA firm is not qualified to do this type of audit. Therefore, before nonprofit hires a CPA firm, make sure that management and board understand various type of assurances and look for a CPA firm that can provide exactly that type of service. Thank you so much. Hopefully I explained a little bit about various type of assurances, audit, review, and compilations, and various type of audits: Yellow Book audit, single audit, and regular financial audit. There's other type of audits like compliance audits, but we will not go there. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time for our next nap. Have a wonderful week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.